Hi guys and welcome to my channel. It's Vesna here. Today is my last Valentine's Day DIY video and this is a Dollar Tree Valentine's Day DIY. For the first DIY I'm using this palette heart from the Dollar Tree. I've removed the tags and I'm going to be painting each one of the lines a different color. So the first one I'm doing is this one, and I'm painting it in the linen white from Rust-Oleum chalk paint. You can use acrylic paint. I just decided, because I have lots of this white paint, to use the white paint. Once that dries, I go on to my next color, and for the next color I'm using the cotton candy pink from the Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to be doing the top part of the heart in that color. Then the next line, after I paint this, I'm going to be doing in kind of like a brown stain, but what I'm doing is making my own stain by using this cashmere paint, just very little of it, and just very lightly spreading it on the wood. And then I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm just going to rub off the extra paint, and that'll give it kind of like a very subtle brown, almost stain looking paint. And when you're rubbing it off with a baby wipe, try to keep it like the same as the grain, and that'll help with keeping it looking like a stain. And then the last one that I'm doing is I'm mixing the cotton candy pink with a little bit of white and then lightly putting it on and then using that same baby wipe and rubbing off extra paint. And I was trying to figure out which one of these galvanized steel words I'm going to use. They were a 3-pack from the Dollar Tree, and I've decided to go with the XOXO because if you watched my previous video, I did a whole bunch of love signs, so this one I wanted to be a little bit different. So you just hot glue it on. You want to make sure that your hot glue is nice and hot. The first time I tried to put it on, it wasn't quite hot enough, so it didn't stick. But once you get it nice and hot, it'll stick. And then I wanted to put something around the heart to be able to hang it if I decided to hang it. So I'm just using some jute rope, but I had to make it a little bit thinner because it was quite thick. But if you've had these jute ropes before, they're also from the Dollar Tree, you can separate them. So I separated them and took off one layer of the rope. And then I tied it at the back and hot glued it at the back. And that's all there is to the heart. It was a very simple DIY. You needed basically 3 different colors of paints, that XOXO sign and this heart and a little bit of rope, but you could also use the rope that came with the paint. And I think it turned out really, really beautifully. So here's the finished piece. So again, if you haven't been to my channel before, my name is Vesna. Thank you so much for stopping by. On my channel, you can find all sorts of budget-friendly DIYs, home decor DIYs, thrift flips, Dollar Tree, upscales and DIYs, anything basically for the home that you can create yourself on a budget and in usually the farmhouse rustic type of style. I do it. So if that's the kind of stuff you like, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit the notification bell so that way you can see when I post new videos, and leave me a comment below letting me know you subscribed. So on to the next DIY. For this DIY, you're going to need several pieces. You're going to need the crates from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just reusing ones that I had from a different project and I've removed the sides. You're going to need some wood blocks, some pink paints, these Dollar Tree trailers. I had the Valentine's nut ones, so I used those ones. Some ribbon and some florals, all from the Dollar Tree. And then if you have just like a little piece, I have it from one of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees, the bottom part of it. So if you have that, something like that. So to begin, I'm going to be painting out this trailer, and I'm not actually painting it in full. What I'm doing is I'm putting a coat of the fuchsia pink paint over top of it, and then I'll be rubbing it off with some baby wipes. And I'm doing this just to mute a little bit of the sparkles and the redness and give it a little bit of a reddish pink tint. I really like these, even the way they were painted, and I like Follow Your Heart. I just want it to be, didn't want it to be quite so red. I want it to be more pinkish. If you didn't want to make it a Valentine's Day one, this is an easy project that you could make spring, Christmas, Halloween, any kind. These pickup truck and trailers are really popular right now, so even if you find them and they're not the right season, you can always paint them out and make them what you want. And I'm doing the same thing with these crates. So like I said, I've removed the sides and I'm going to glue this side back onto one of the crates just because I couldn't get it to be nice and even, and I didn't want it to be pieces of wood and gunk falling off. I had created a DIY before, but it fell apart. I had dropped it on the floor and then it fell apart and I never put it back together. So I thought I could reuse these from there, and then that way they'll still have some purpose. And it doesn't cost me anything. So I'm going to paint them out in the pink, the same fuchsia pink that I painted the truck with, the trailer with, and then I'm going to be hot gluing them together. So what I'm doing is I'm hot gluing the two pieces together, but as you can see at the bottom, when I was taking off the sides, I broke a piece of it off, so I'm gonna hot glue that to the bottom as well. If you were just putting these together like this and weren't putting anything on the sides, then you might want to put something on the side or at the bottom to hold them together better. But because I'm going to be putting the trailer on each side of these, it doesn't matter if you put an extra thing to hold it together, because the trailer part will hold them together. It'll act as that extra piece of wood. So I realized after I did this that I didn't do it the same length, so make sure that you measure it out properly so that way you don't have to take it off and do it twice. You just want to sit it down and make sure that it's not wobbly or anything like that. So as you can see, I'm checking it there and then I take it apart. So again, just make sure you take a stick or something to measure to make sure that you're putting them on the same distance and same height. So after I glue them together, if you've watched my other videos, you know that I don't waste anything. So I use one of the leftover pieces from the side to give it height on one side of the trailer. And then on the other side, I use, now you can use either the jumbo popsicle sticks or these garden picks, which I got. I think these ones I got at Dollarama, but they have them at the Dollar Tree too. I've gotten them at both places. And you just cut them to size, and I used 5 of them just to kind of give it an illusion of it being closed on one side. If you wanted, you could put it on both sides. The way I was going to be having this positioned, you won't see the one side, so I was okay with it being this way. And I know anywhere I put it, it'll always be angled so you can't see the back. And then you just hot glue it all together, and then you paint it out in the color of your choice. I decided for these to use the cotton candy pink, not the fuchsia, only because I wanted it to be a little bit lighter than the front. So the reason I'm using that little part from the Christmas tree, the base, is because I wanted it to look like a little hitch for the trailer. You don't need that. I just wanted that little extra part. So I'm measuring out to see where I want to put it. It's not quite long enough so you can't see it. So I was going to hot glue it. It didn't work out too well. So I put hot glue and permanent glue, the E6000, and I wound up having them stick together. The hot glue probably isn't the best option to stick these two together, but I wanted the quickness and it wasn't working for me. So like I said, I used the E6000 and that worked, and I just let it sit for overnight actually for it to dry. And then I glued that little piece of wood to the trailer, and that's all there was to that. Then I wanted to add some steps to the trailer. So what I did was I used the rest of the wood blocks to create some steps, and I glued the bottom step to the top step and like made them look like steps, so I had it out a little bit. And then I'm going to do a little bit of an awning, so I'm using another wooden block and the leftover pieces from those garden picks for the awning, and then I'll hot glue that ribbon to that wooden piece. And I like this ribbon because it has the little wire things on the side, so you can kind of curl it a little bit if you wanted to. And I just use hot glue for all of this. Once that was done, I just filled it in with some florals and that little heart from the Dollar Tree. Just any kind of picks that you can find. And then here's the finished product. I think it's really, really cute. It's a nice little addition for my Valentine's Day decor. I really hope you enjoyed all of my Valentine's Day videos. If you didn't get a chance to see them, here's a link to the playlist right here. And thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great day. And thank you for subscribing, and thank you for watching.